Greetings. Greetings and welcome to Conversation with Tony Mobley. Today we have Mr. Dan Flores, artist known as DTM. He will be sharing some new art. Today is October 1st, 2025. This is episode 37 of 2025 of Conversations with Tony Mobley. This conversation is used by the software Mimo Live and Zoom. We are happy to share with you that Conversation with Tony Mobley is produced by Claddock Lopez Waterman, Laura Thompson, Zachary Sorensen, and we have a very special guest this evening, all the way from the Philippines, Mickey McAtrue, who is supporting us today in our Conversations with Tony Mobley. You can ask your questions in Conversation with Tony Mobley by going to the YouTube and the YouTube chat, and there you will see a link for Mukana. Mukana is an interactive chat where you can vote your questions up and down. It's courtesy of Alex Lindsay and 090. But if you choose not to do that, you are welcome to put your questions in the YouTube chat. I encourage you to go ahead and start putting those questions in, because we have a person who is prolific in his art, and we are excited to have him here with us again, Mr. Dan Flores, DTM. Welcome, sir. Happy to have you here with us today.
Yo, Tony. Thank you for having me. I am happy to be here. It's always a good time hanging out with you on Conversations with Tony Mobley. What's up, everyone?
All right, we're going to get right to it. And we're going to ask the very first question, which is the very first question is, who are you? And please give us a brief overview of who you are.
Interesting. Who are you? Who am I? Who is anyone? I am DTM, Delta Tango Mike. Find me anywhere on the internet, Delta Tango Mike. And I am a 2D illustrator who likes to draw. Drawing is my thing. Ever since I was as memory the memories that I have of myself is me as an artist, as someone who draws, and anything. I didn't want to do anything else with my life but to draw, and so I grew up to be a working artist. And I work in comics, animation, games. I worked in several different types of projects that require lots of characters and drawing characters, and so that's who I am. That's what I do. I enjoy the creative process. I teach the creative process. I teach the business of art, and I'm all around creative person. There you go. How about that?
That's fantastic. Thank you so much for sharing that. And we're going to get right to the next questions. What new projects have you worked on since the last time you were here?
Oof, a lot. I draw all the time, so I'm always working on something, and this is a subject that I take very serious when I'm talking to other artists, and I just like to ask stories when I give an answer, and and so when I'm talking to an artist or a person who said they want to be a full time artist, I ask them, well, let me see what you worked on, and they show me drawings from a year ago or when they were in high school or something like a long time ago, and then like, no, show me what you drew today, what you draw before you today, earlier before you came here, yesterday, last week. What were you doing? Because to me, that's art. Drawing is my passion, and so I'm constantly always drawing. I was drawing right before we came on this. Started the podcast tonight. I was been drawing all day today. I finished sketched out a tattoo design earlier. The client is ready for their tattoo. I'm constantly drawing something, but to answer your question, I do have a couple of fresh new drawings that I've been proudly sharing, and one of them has to do with a revamp of a beloved Mexican character named El Chapulín Colorado. And so what he does is he um, is from back in the day when I was a kid. He was very famous in Mexico, and he's just a regular guy. He wears a superhero suit on with the underwear on the outside of his pants, and I decided to vamp the look and give him the current one of those revamps that is happening right now with DC Comics. DC Comics started a bunch of months ago, maybe almost a year now, with the Absolute Batman, and I want to say a year because it's been 12 issues so far now. I think 10 or 12. Any case, and so they revamped the look of Batman, and then made him like real big muscle bound, which is something that I'm very interested in because when I was a kid, I used to draw muscle people, big superheroes and muscle people, and Schwarzenegger and Stallone. They were the hot thing in the movies. And so I used to draw lots of muscly characters. So with the advent of Absolute Batman and now these other DC comic titles where they add in the word absolute, they're making these characters like really over the top. And I said, well, what if I did that to one of the characters that I grew up with, which is El Chapulín Colorado. So there is on my portfolios on Behance, and it has that project. I just published it a day or two ago, and it shows my process of drawing the character, coming out with the details, and then a finished rendering of that character. And I even share on my portfolio, I share a coloring page that anyone can download that coloring page, and it's just a line work, and you can color it yourself in your favorite app. So that's one of the many, and I got more. I got tons of new art pieces.
Okay, those of you who are watching on YouTube, I encourage you to go ahead and put your questions in and to ask Dan. This is a great opportunity. We don't always have access to an artist like this, and so please ask your questions now. And if we run out of questions, we're going to call it a night. We're not going to prolong because Dan has grandpa duty as well as being
Hmm.
on the conversation with Tony Mobley tonight. So we're going to go to our next question. Please talk about your comics initiative.
Well, I have a couple of ways in which I encourage and inspire others through examples of my work. And one is the way, and if there's something specific that you're looking for, please tell me because I do a lot. Um, so I stream my creative process, and I stream how I make my own comics and how I develop my characters. So one way is for others to learn is the free way, right on YouTube or on what is it, YouTube, LinkedIn, Twitch. I share my process so people can join and watch, or you can join the Discord and ask me direct questions. And so right now, what I've been developing is a way to set up some ones on ones. And so we have a Discord, and then where you can join in, share some of your work in progress, ask for critiques, ask for feedback, and then join the ones on ones sessions where you can show me what you're working on. We can talk about it, and we can then find the solutions or the next steps for you to follow through with your project. So there's many ways in which I try to share the things that I know how to do. But I also have my own comic book ideas and stories that I'm writing, that I'm drawing. I use various programs and try out different apps to do the drawings and get working through the process. And I think that we're going to do this weekend. We're doing a 24-hour comic book. Um, it's called 24-hour comic book. Uh, Dang it, I'm missing the last word. Anyways, and so it's a challenge. It's right. And so for 24 hours, some of us are going to get together, mostly online, because there's not one place to stay at overnight. And but we're going to start at Challenges Games and Comics here in Atlanta in North Lake Mall, and then move online. And for 24 hours, we're going to try to work together on finishing a 24-page comic. So I have different ways for people to get involved, come in for free, or if you're really serious about your art career, go ahead and subscribe either on Discord or contact me through Vector Maestros, where I have many of the sessions already listed on the site that you can join in and say, well, I want that one-on-one touch, that one-on-one mentorship, that one-on-one instruction so that we can move forward with my projects.
And we want to share that the Discord is the sketching and drawing on
Yes,
Discord.
that's right.
Sketching,
Sketching and
sketching
drawing.
and drawing. And I'm gonna show it. I hope my folk don't get mad at me for sharing it. This is Discord, and it is sketching and drawing at the very top. And
And Victor on YouTube is right. Sounds like a lucha libre star. Yes, it does sound like that. Which
okay,
is another drawing that I'm doing of the Absolute series, and it's an actual Mexican luchador. He's been passed a long time ago, but he was a big influence in my upbringing when I was a kid. So thank you for sharing that, Tony. And yes, I'm glad to see the comments in the chat. Word up.
that's fantastic. And normally I'm able to see the chat, but for some reason, the way I have my setup, I'm not able to see the chat. So you're going to have to help me out with those things that are in the chat.
With
So
Victor
let's see.
Hernandez.
Let's get to the next question. And the next question is, please talk about your social media experience, particularly those things that you're doing in or on TikTok. And before you
Mm,
even say anything about TikTok, let me just say this.
yeah.
You are prolific in TikTok in terms
Okay.
of the things that you're sharing. Is every time I turn around, there's something new that's on TikTok,
Mhm.
and you're going through the
Mhm.
whole process. And I actually had planned to just I did a screen recording of one of your TikToks, and I think it's from today or it was from yesterday.
Mhm.
And
What was it?
as you talk about this, I'm gonna see if I can pull it up.
Okay. And then share it with us, and I'll tell you more about it in itself. But man, let me tell you, um, TikTok is one of those places where the it's all about consuming content. You know, people are just scrolling, and these videos, this content is design is it works best when it grabs attention, right? When there's attention grabbing and it has something to share. And I'm getting better at it. I've been really experimenting with a ton of different ways to share my content in terms of the what it kind of information it shares. And I'm getting better even with my live streams where there's an intro to it so that it grabs the person and holds them there so for the duration of the video, which is 60 seconds, 90 seconds max. And so I've been playing around with that idea, and it's been going well for me in terms of the amount of views it gets, any comments, and so on. But the key is to be consistent. Just share. And one of the things that I do is I use Adobe Express to set up my post and schedule them. So what you see being posted today, I made it last week and I added it to my schedule so that it would post today. And so I have a lot of different videos that I've made already. And these videos, half of them are about the process that I take when it comes to drawing the some of these characters, including El Chapulín Colorado, which is something that I just shared today, that I just talked about today. And so that video that you're showing me is the one where I converted my drawing into the Chapulín Colorado drawing finished version. I converted it into a line art that people so that they can see my process and how I just take away all the color, all the different highlights, etc., and then turn a drawing into just a line drawing that anyone can download and use it as a coloring page. And so I like sharing my process, give everyone else a chance to get familiar to how I do my art. Because that's one of those things that I'm really interested in when I talk to artists. Like, well, how did you do that? Like, how did this happen? And so I feel like that's something that I know I can share because I'm constantly drawing. I record my content. I use apps that have a time lapse set up within the app so that it records what I'm doing. And if not, then I'll record my screen as I'm working. And so because I'm constantly drawing something, I'm constantly creating content, I'm documenting my process, and then I use that as a video. So that's what you're seeing on that video that you shared right now. And then, but that is also that one video, that one drawing is there's like five of those videos, and that video itself only has 132 plays. But that same drawing, on when I first did the rendering, the full rendering of that drawing, right now it has 1,868 plays.
Wow.
Yeah,
Yeah.
the original sketch has 1,611 plays. So I'm pretty excited about that. That's a lot for me.
Yeah. I'm going to play it. I'm going to
Okay.
play it and let me know if you can hear it.
We can hear it. I don't know if we can see it. Oh, there it goes. And what you're hearing is just music. There's no talking. Maybe I should do some or voiceover. You guys let me know in the chat whether I should do a voiceover. There goes the line work. And then I'm gonna export or add in some text. Export. And then I'm gonna load the artwork to Behance. So if you check the links in the description or in the chat, you'll see the Behance link where you can download that drawing. And there it goes. Good
Very
job.
cool. Yeah. That's cool stuff. And
Oh,
like
thank
I
you, thank
said,
you.
it's I'm constantly seeing new things. So when you shared earlier, you were talking about when you talk to new artists and they're sharing stuff with you that they
Mm-hmm.
did last year. I
Mm-hmm.
understand very clearly your passion when you say to them, you know, what did you do today or what did you do yesterday? What's recent?
Right.
And it's amazing, your passion, and I enjoy it. And I, I'm going to say, I'm going to be transparent and say that is so much that I'm not able to watch all of it, but I
Right.
am. I do tune into your Discord, and every chance I get to participate,
Mm-hmm.
because I'm a wannabe artist, and I think if I had continued when I was a lot younger, and I'm talking about when I was a kid,
Okay.
I was fairly decent, and I was
Mm-hmm.
decent enough to get admitted to the art school of the city that I lived in. But
Wow.
since that time, since that time, I have not done anything. And so we're talking
Mm-hmm.
about, you know, almost 60 years ago.
Wow.
Um, and but
You still got it.
I enjoy watching and participating in videos. And I'm just curious, have you embraced any AI? I know that you don't need to,
Mm-hmm.
but I'm just curious,
Right.
is there any AI apps that appeal to you or
Mm-hmm.
you think might be worthwhile for novice to look at?
Right. Um, yes. Yes, they appeal to me. And yes, every novice should try it out, but so should every professional. And there's the saying that I'm repeating everywhere I go. I heard it when I was at a conference last year, and this fashion designer, they were on stage and they said, "Let you focus on the creativity and let AI do the dishes." And I was thinking, yes, why don't I let AI do the boring things, the things that I don't like to do, and I do the cool creative stuff, right? But there's
Right.
a difference between someone who doesn't know how to do anything versus someone who does know how to do something and then lets AI help them out. And as an example is if you never swept, you never used a broom, and you never cleaned the floor, then you don't know what a clean floor looks like. And so when you let the Roomba do it, you let the Roomba run around once and then you're done. But what I've learned from watching my wife is that she'll let the Roomba sweep the floor several times. She says, "No, it's not clean." You
Hmm.
make the Roomba do it over and over and over again until it's up to her standards. And in an
Okay.
artist, I will understands the standards, and someone who doesn't have any experience with creativity does not have the same eye. You may be able to appreciate it, and I'm not talking about you because you're an artist. If you can draw a stick figure, you're an artist. All right, there you go. That's it. Everybody's an artist. But when as a fan, you're watching a movie or animation or something, you're looking at it, and you might notice things and be like, I wish this was better. I wish that dialogue was better. I wish the reaction or the acting was better. But when you're a creative person, you notice a lot of moving parts, and because you either have experience with some of it, or because you're very interested and passionate about it. And I think that what we're seeing is a lot of people who see AI as a shortcut and say, "Well, I don't know how to do anything, so I'm gonna let AI do it." And the results are not as good as what an artist would do. Whereas an artist, when you're given those tools, an artist knows how to push it harder, better to get what it wants, like the Roomba, making the Roomba sweep several times. But then at the end, it's like, okay, you got it almost all the way there. Now let me finish it off. And that's my process. My process comes in with drawing is I'll do a sketch, I'll do an illustration, I'll get the composition together, I'll get the character right, and then I'll run it through some AI and say, well, now do this to it, now do that, now try this, and AI will do it. And I have several tools online that I play around with. I actually do have a link that people can start playing with some Imagine art, and then when they when I see what the AI has done, I take the results, and not even just this AI platforms. This one's called Imagine Art, but even Facebook, Photoshop or Illustrator, they have AI also, and they will enhance, adjust, edit. Right now, there's in beta for Adobe Illustrator, there's a tool that will take your character and turn them sideways. It will switch the view for it. It'll you can see it from the bottom, you can see it from the top. It's like a 3D thing, but it's a 2D illustration. And so for to use a tool like that, you have to have already a drawing that's there. So something that you made. And then but then the result is still not quite 100%. So you use these tools, you try things out, you get a new composition, you get a new design or a new view, and then my process is that now that the AI is done, now I go in and redraw it, not to look like the way AI made it, but to make it look like the way Dan makes it, the way DTM draws. Because not all a not these AI platforms, these LMs do not know my style. They don't know my technique. They're not gonna do the art the way I do it, but they will do some of the stuff. So I think there's a place for all of us, including artists who don't want to deal with AI, an artist like me who's gonna have AI as part of the process, but then I'm still part of the process because I became an artist because I like to draw, not because I want someone else to draw for me.
Right, right, right. And the fact that you explained it the way that you did is very interesting to me. And I'm hearing some of the community members that I'm a part of that talk
Hmm.
about coding, and when they're talking about using AI to do some of the grunt work,
Hmm.
and that is sort of what I'm hearing you say, that even as an artist, you can let AI do some of the grunt work, and then you can take the foundation that it may have laid and really customize it to what it is that you as a creator wants it to be.
Right.
And I'm just curious. So there seems to be a lot of people who are sort of falling away from Adobe Illustrator, and I was wondering what your thoughts were in terms of.
Hmm.
Some people are saying that because of the cost of it, that they are sort of
Hmm.
pulling away.
Right.
Um, where do you stand, and if there is something else that you
Hmm.
are using in collaboration with Illustrator?
Right. Well, I got several answers on that. Number one, you should do what's right for you. All right, that's it. I think it's called Mutana. What is this called? Mukana.
Yes.
Mukana. Right, right. And that works for you, right? I use Discord. I get people into Discord. Like, come on to Discord and hang out. We have chats, video, text channels, all kinds of stuff. So people will use whatever platform. I use Restream to stream out my to multiple destinations, and some people like Streamyard. Some people like the other one with the duck on it. I forgot what it's called. Anyways, and that's cool. I think that there's room for everybody to do what they want. And if you want to draw with just pen and paper, then you should, because that's how I started, papers and pencils and so on.
Yeah, we
So
we have a
okay,
question about
yeah,
your medium, but before we go to that,
okay,
before we go to your different mediums, is there
hmm,
is there something that you want to share in relations to the other platforms that you use? And by the way, we are actually use the streaming device or platform that we're using is called Mimo Live,
me,
and it's
hmm,
based in Germany.
hmm.
And at some point, in the future, maybe at the end of the show, I'll show you the back end of it. I am
Okay,
extremely, I'm extremely
uh,
impressed with what it is able to do.
right,
We have a
right,
young man. We have two young men that are operating our
hmm,
back end tonight. One is in the Philippines, and the other one is in Warwick, Queensland, Australia. And
all right,
so they are able to um,
hmm,
manage this. But I don't want to talk so much about
right,
this process, but I want to get back to the art. So
gotcha.
in 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 regards to Illustrator, are there other software packages that you're using to
Yes.
work with as far as the drawing?
Yes, and that's where I was leading to by giving an example about the different options for streaming. Right, there's lots of options for streaming. None of them are wrong. All of them are right, and you should go with what you do, what you like. Me, I've been an Illustrator user for over 25 years. Right, I started with Photoshop and then Illustrator. Before Photoshop, it was a Macromedia Fireworks, and this is in the late '90s. So, and I played around with Corel, and there's a ton of companies back in the day that don't exist anymore, and I tried it all, and Adobe won the professional art and design programs war. They won, and they've been around for a long, long time, and over 30 years, and so to this day, if you're gonna work as a professional artist, if you're gonna work in a professional environment and deal it, with teams and organizations that are in the creative world, Adobe is going to be the software they use. Is no matter how you feel about it, that's just how it is. It's like getting on the highway. Okay, you like cars. Cars go on the highway. You like bicycles, and maybe you like riding a tricycle like a kid. Okay, great, but you can't take that on the highway. They're not going to let you. It's not going to
Right.
happen. Now, are there other apps? Yes. Do I use them? Yes. I use Affinity, Procreate, Clip Studio Paint, Medibang, Sketchable. I grab whatever I can to draw what I want because I feel that the more programs that I know, the better my skills are going to be for in any given situation. But because I like to get paid for my art, I get paid to draw. A lot of times, some of these projects that pay you good money require Adobe stuff. And so, as you can see, I think this is my jacket, my sweater. It says the A right there, the letter A, Adobe. This is sent to me by Adobe. I'm an Adobe community expert, and I don't know everything about all the Adobe apps, but I know enough about the apps that I use: Photoshop, Illustrator, Premiere, InDesign, and Fresco. And so those are the ones that I use for my social media, content creation, for my art, for my art projects, comics, animation, and games. And so I stick to what I know and what's worked for me. Plus, because this is my business, this is what I do, this is my job, then there's a cost for it. So is the price going up? Are things changing? Yes. Are you going to give it up? I'm not, because that's part of doing business, like having an office and having a computer and having the web services that you have and the Mimo account. Those are all part of the business. And if you're making money
Right.
with your business, then that's an expense. If you're not making money with the art, then it's a hobby, or it's something that you're doing for yourself and being a creative person. Then you should find affordable options, or even free. And there's a lot of free apps out there. They are free to download, free to try, free to draw. But when it comes time to step into the freeway, if you're going to get on the freeway and the highway, you can't do it on a bicycle. You're going to have to get a car, and you're going to have to pay insurance. You're going to have to pay for gas and all those things. And that's where Adobe is at.
All right. We have a question. We have a
Uh
question
huh.
from Clalac Lopez Waterman, and he says he is on a plane.
Hmm.
So his question is, who is your favorite artist of all time, musical and visual?
Interesting. You're on a plane, huh? That's crazy. They're watching this on a plane right now. That's amazing.
Well, he's the producer of Conversation with Tony Mobley, so he
Oh, okay.
probably felt a little obligated.
They're right. He paid for that Go Wi-Fi on the plane. That's all right. That's cool. Um, you know, art. There's many artists, and I actually met one in person, and he had a very sour attitude. So I don't, but I still like his art. His name is Simon Bisley. So if he's listening or watching, yeah, I'm talking about you. Whatever. Anyway, he's a good artist. That dude can draw and paint. Like, it's amazing. And there was many artists like that when I was growing up. That when I was reading comics and looking at the art, that made me want to be a comic book artist, because I could see the level of talent and in their in the work. David Mack is another one. Frank Miller is another one, where they just their storytelling and their art is amazing, and it grabbed my attention. It took me into the story, and I told myself I want to be like that. Boris Vallejo is another artist who can paint like nobody's business, and Frazetta, another artist. So these are names that been around forever in the art world and in comics. Now, as far as music, oh man, NWA, Public Enemy. I was sharing some of my music with my interns one time, and I left to go do something, and I came back, and the music was still playing, and I asked them, I said, "What you think about the music? Is it all right?" And of course, these are young guys, and one of them said, "I have not heard a song that's newer than the year 2000." And I'm like, "Yeah, that's right. You're not going to hear."
Yeah, yeah,
So
yeah.
yeah, I'm
I
very much a old school hip hop with him.
Yeah, I,
Mhm.
I know you are prolific in doing your art, and you like to do stuff all the time, new stuff. But I want to take a brief break here and just share
Mhm.
some of the art that you shared with us the last time you were on, if that's okay.
Okay. Yeah,
And
yeah, yeah.
if you want to talk about it a little bit, um,
Nice.
so
Right. That's yes. So that's I want to say Oyin, but I think I got it. I got it. I'm off by a little bit. In any case, that is the symbol for the fifth sun. We're living in the fifth age of mankind, according to Aztec mythology, and Aztec mythology is really a mashup of many different sciences and religions from back in the pre-Columbian days, and so basically the gods made us, the gods have destroyed us many times before, and right now we're living in the fifth time where that has happened. And I grew up in East LA. I grew up in Mexico. I went to to school in Mexico. I learned a lot of uh, history, Mexican history, Aztec history. Something that I didn't. I learned that in Mexico, and that's not something we learn about here in the United States. And so, the Aztec history inspired me so much that I have a lot of Aztec art in everything I do. So some of my pieces that you'll find on my portfolio, they have Aztecs, and that's the Aztec goddess. Um, she's the goddess of the moon and rebirth. So there she goes, and this is a part of a piece, and both of those, and including that one, all these three pieces. That's Mictecasi Huatil, I believe. I don't know this pronunciation. I just make it up. But that's those three pieces are part of a mural that I installed on the Atlanta Beltline a few years ago. The mural is gone. The company that paid for the mural kept the installation piece, and that's me with some Aztec details, including that piece on his head and ready for battle. I call that piece DTM versus AI because I'm ready to go in and battle AI with my pencils. Yes, yes. Uh-huh. And so many of the comic and animation projects that I'm working on include Aztec characters like this one. His name is Tanok, the founder of the Mexico City, way back hundreds of years ago, was named Tenoch. So this city is called Tenochtitlan, and that's where Mexico City sits today. And so this is so he has the same name, but this is set in the future, in a dystopian future where he is in search of the gods, and so he leaves his hometown and looking for the gods, and he's a young boy, uh, middle to late teens, and he sets off into a lot of different adventures where he actually connects with the gods little by little, and so his armor builds up. But when he leaves home, he doesn't look like that. So yeah, that's one of my cool pieces. And I do draw on my surface, so this is I call him Sketchy. The character name is Sketchy. He sketches on a surface with an app called Sketchable, and so that's him walking around with a surface for a head. And the surface is a cool looking device where it has a kickstand on the back, and so that's why that you see that part on the back of his head popping off. And it's a tablet and a computer at the same time. Surface Pro. And that is that piece. That was the mural that I made for the art installation. And so ever since then, I've used that same artwork because I drew it digitally with Adobe Fresco and Adobe Illustrator. I have used that same artwork to make stickers and merchandise that because it's digital. Once you draw a vector, you can put it anywhere you want, do whatever you want with it. And I like sharing my art with people, and so I make a lot of stickers of my work. That piece called Vida y Renacimiento, Life and Rebirth.
All right.
Yeah, that's
And
it.
we
There
have
you
a
go.
picture of you. So the next question is, what is your favorite medium for creating? And that's again from Clark Lopez Waterman, who's on a plane.
Hmm. All right. Um, Paper and pencil are number one. There is something about the feeling of paper in your hands. I do wash my hands like 100 times a day because I like clean hands. And when I touch in my papers and my pencils and my sketchbooks, I don't want any grease, any dirt, anything to get on them unless I put it there. And so yeah, that's my number one. And when people ask me, what do I need to get so I can learn how to draw, I say a pencil and some paper. Start with that. But nowadays, with the tablets, ever since I got my Surface, and here's one of my Surface devices right here, and there's the kickstand, like the guy I was telling you about on the drawing. Um, that when once I got a Surface like this, oh my gosh, I took out of my backpack, I took out my sketchbooks, my markers, my pencils, because I didn't have to carry them anymore. Because now I could carry just the one device with all the different tools. So with the tablet, I can draw with watercolors, with markers, with pencils, with whatever I want, and I don't have to carry a big backpack with it because I always carry a backpack. I always carry a drawing tool. I always have to have it because you never know when inspiration is gonna hit.
Right, right. I'm just curious. Have you
Hmm.
have you explored the iPad and the Apple Pencil? Have you
Yes.
tried it out?
Yes, I have one right here, and I was just drawing with that earlier. before we went live. Let me turn it on. There we go. Come on. There it is. There's my iPad. There goes one of my apps called Fresco. And yes, I've been drawing with an iPad before the iPad Pro, when it was just
Okay.
regular iPads and in some third party stylus. Yes, I'm very familiar. And I have a Samsung Android tablet and I have an Android phone that I draw with. It's a Surface phone. This is the Surface, and it opens up like this, and I can draw on it. It's a two screen phone. It folds all the way around, and the same pen that's on the Surface Pro is the same pen that I use on the Surface Duo. I'm
Wow.
addicted.
Wow. Wow.
I'm addicted.
That's very, very cool. I'm going to just share a quick grandpa moment with
All
you.
right. hmm Yes, that's right. Those are my grandkids. Two of them are here right now, making lots of noise. hmm
All right.
Yeah, on
Yeah.
the left, far left, on my lap is my grandson. He is 10 years old. His name is Troy, Christopher Troy, and he draws with me. We do live streams together. So if you check out Vector Maestros, you'll see him in my live streams. And then the smallest one, his name is River, and he is 2 years old, and he's the loudest one right now in the house. And then on my wife's lap is Rain, and she is 6 now, and she's done lots of live streams with me. When she was a baby, and she couldn't move her body, I would hold her in my arms and go live, and she'd just sit there and stare, like, "What's going on? What's happening?" But she was a baby, so she wasn't moving. But as soon as she started being able to move and she got older and reaching for things, I couldn't do the live streams anymore because she kept reaching for the microphone or for things, anything, when I was trying to draw. But yes, those are my grandkids. I love them. They're amazing, and
That's
they're artists.
fantastic. Yeah, I just wanted to share that because some of our listeners viewers may have heard them, and
hmm
although it's been very quiet, I guess your wife decided to move them to another space because
Yeah, she's
we're not
feeding
hearing
them.
them anymore.
She gave them food,
Oh,
so now they're quiet. They're
okay,
munching.
okay. So Clark Lopez Waterman is back again, and he's asking you. He says, "Have you worked with the kids?" That was not the question that I was looking for. He had another question up,
hmm
and I don't see it now. It was about would you create something for him? And I'm going to say, would you create? Oh, can you make me a Tlaloc image, the Aztec rain god?
Oh yes, Tlaloc. Yes, yes, I know who he is. Uh-huh. And yes, I can. Yes, I can. I actually a few years ago I did 16 paintings or 12. I forget the number. It was a lot of paintings. And I picked out friends of mine and I took their face and I took the likeness of their face, and my brother-in-law cut out the wood pieces of the shape of the face, and then I painted the Aztec gods, different Aztec gods for different people, and I call that masked men. Well, my brother-in-law and I put a show together, and we called it Masked Men. And so, but yes, Tlaloc was one of those. He is the rain god, but also uh, his some of his themes have to do with education and knowledge and wisdom. And so, so a friend of mine who is a big time educator and motivational speaker, I put Tlaloc designs on his face as a painting, and I gifted him the painting. So yeah, let's do it. I love me some Master
Yeah,
Gods, and so he's a cool one.
he
Yeah,
he he comes to Atlanta quite often, so he's probably going to hold you to that. So, so so so
yeah.
so get ready, get ready, get
hmm
ready, get ready for that. And so, but I just wanted to share with you some of the things that you're doing is just absolutely amazing. Clark still on the plane has another question. Have you worked with kids? So what is your you or what are you doing with kids?
We make art, we code, we build robots. This weekend on Saturday, we're gonna be at Georgia Tech. I think I have to check, but we got two events this Saturday and next Saturday, where my wife is a coder developer and founded uh, a a program where she teaches coding and robotics. And my job is to help and provide all the art and lead the art sessions. So we have a lot of events around town, and this one in particular, we're going to have some Raspberry Pis. They're going to be coding. We have some Surface laptops, just like my Surface Pro. We have 15 of them, and so we connect a lot of Raspberry Pi and Raspberry Pico devices to them with lights and sounds, and kids learn to write the code and see the reaction on the Raspberry Pi, and that's just for this weekend. But what with the whole program is called Buttercup Steam, and what we've done is created a week long summer camp program where it's for girls ages 8 to 14, and they come to learn how to code. They learn how to build a robot, and I teach them AI. I teach them art. We have a friend who stops by. His name is Sean Johnson, and he teaches them how to build games, mobile games. And so we do a lot with the community so that we inspire the next generation of developers, coders, engineers, artists, all of that. And so yeah, we're constantly going to schools, going to events, having booths at festivals, wherever there's room for us to share some exciting, cool things, cool tech, and art things with kids, then that's where you'll find us. Mhm.
Please shout out your wife again for what she does. What's her name and
Aisha Flores, and it's buttercupsteam.io is the website. Uh-huh. Yes. Thank you so much for that. Yeah, we
that's
love it.
fantastic. Are you and our good friend Liberty White collaborating on anything as far as
Um,
the
n-
AI
n-
in education?
well, not on Buttercup's team side, but with She Learns AI. I have done a couple of sessions with some of her live streams, and in the olden days before COVID, I used to be there in person with some of her events, leading some of the graphic design and illustration content creation sessions. So yes, yes, Liberty White and I go way back, collaborating
That's
on a lot of things.
that's fantastic. Um, we're down to our last few questions. So, what's next for you?
Money, want to be rich? No, I'm just like,
Well, I mean that's you got to claim it.
gotta claim it. That's right, right, right. Is I have a lot of projects that I've been working on as my on my free time, and I like for them to be my full time. Whereas my full time is contract work. I do a lot of freelancing, a lot of design, illustration, social media content, creation, production, and management. And so that's because I know how to do that so well. I share it with others. I get contracted to do it for others. And though it's fun and exciting and challenging, it takes me away from the things that I feel I want, right? And so you're looking at my link tree where you'll find tons of links to everything that I'm doing, and some of those links will take you through my portfolio, or to learning how to start your own art career, or learning how to manage your talent and build on your art skills. But but definitely the thing that's next for me is to be able to focus on my passion projects full time, and that's what I'm really looking forward to, the day where all my bills are paid for however long is possible. $1 million would be just nice, nice, be nice enough to have a long runway, so that I can finish one of my mobile games, so that I can finish one of my comic book and graphic novels, so that I can finish an animation. And most recently, because of AI, I've been able to create a couple of short films. They're only a minute long, so they're very, very short. But it gives me a chance to then create animations and movement to tell a story, that I don't have time to sit there and draw 1,000 drawings, because I've done animation the frame by frame way, and it takes 12 frames for 1 second. So in 1 minute, do you do the math? 144. I don't know. That's not right. It's a ton of frames, and so you have to do what you can with what you got. And the more either I get paid to do these projects, then the more time I have for the passion stuff, or eventually just be able to focus on the passion stuff if I can monetize it in a way where it can sustain me. So that's what's next. Make it
That's
happen.
fantastic. Yeah, yeah, yeah. So the last question is, you're speaking to the world. What do you want the world to know?
Be creative. Be creative and have fun creating. You Some of us have a talent. And believe that everybody has a talent. It just comes out in different ways, and it's not just drawing, but there's ways to create. And some of us create relationships. Some of us create opportunities. Some of us create um, ways for others to find these opportunities. And if you're not the person who's going to draw, be the person who's going to write, or be the person who's going to speak, or whatever. Just be creative and find your way to something that makes you happy and comfortable. We get caught up in doom scrolling or consuming content, which I'm guilty of it myself. And so instead of just consuming the content of others, which is nothing wrong to try to do, but eventually try to find the balance where you're also expanding and building and exercising your creativity. So for anyone out there listening, be creative in some way. And for you, Tony, get a pencil and paper and sketch out some stick people. There you go.
All right, I'm going to take you up on that. Thank you so much, Dan Flores, DTM, the
Yes,
artist,
sir.
for being here with me today. We are thankful for you being here. We're thankful that your family has allowed you to share with us tonight, and we
Mm-hmm.
are excited about the things that you're doing. And I'm going to be reaching out to you because I'd like to have your wife on to talk about what she's doing. Um,
Mm-hmm.
and so we want to thank everyone for the 100 plus, near 200 conversations with Tony Mobley.
Mm.
We ask that if you have time to go back and look at some of our past conversations, because you may find something there that is helpful to you. Again, we want to thank Dan Flores, DTM, for being a part of our conversation today, for doing the work you do, and for being the person who you are. Next week, we're going to have New Media, NUMEDIA apostrophe S, New Media's Marcel. One
Mm.
name, Marcel. He is an art developer, and he's going to be on with us next week. And we're going to, he's an app developer. I said art developer. He's an app developer, and
Mm.
we're looking forward to have him on. He is a former radio DJ and former Marine, and he has a lot to share. And he has created apps, and I hope he doesn't mind me saying this. He has created apps for some well-known stars, and maybe he will share that with us next week. Um, um, yeah, maybe he'll share that
All
with us
right.
next week. So we ask that you please support Conversation with Tony Mobley by volunteering or donating to Conversations with Tony Mobley. We are running on donations, and we need donations. We not only need financial donations, but we need people to donate their time to participate and keep this going. We want to continue to have meaningful conversations with people in all types of industries. And I'm really, I really don't want to say this, but I'm compelled to say this. We have conversation with people regardless to where they are in the political spectrum as well. And so, and we talk about religion. We talk about some things that make some people uncomfortable. But we ask that you continue to look at Conversation with Tony Mobley, that you like, subscribe, like, even if you don't want to subscribe, please like. And you can also, as I said, watch our past conversations on YouTube as well as our website, conversationwithtonymobley.com. And we will continue to have more interesting conversations with people. Thank you so much, Dan, again for being here. Thank your family so much for sharing you with us tonight. We're going to say good night, everybody. God bless.
Good night, everybody.